Won't be a moment, gentlemen. The sample portraits are my calling cards. Feast your eyes and help yourselves.
It appears that Lady Lockridge was reluctant to have her own dubious taste exposed to scrutiny.
That seems a harsh indictment. Bad taste is not the same as bad character.
Do not reproach me for giving voice to a sentiment you share. I saw your expression at her home, and I observe your expression now.
You're right. I should know that round you I can never seem to be better than I am.
Nor can the photographer, Doctor. Pay attention to him. Lady Lockridge's misgivings may be based on more than society's gossip. Mr. Hargrove, my name is Holmes. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
I never haggle over price. You may check my book for an available sitting.
Thank you, no. I merely require some information.
Mr. Holmes, is it? Information is not my business. I am an artist.
You're too modest, sir. You may know much to my purpose. Your business is thriving in a competitive market. How do you account for your success?
Quality will out. People of taste appreciate my work.
Whom do you honor with red ink?
My memory for minutiae is terrible. Like all great artists, I must write down everything to do with commerce. Forget my own name one day.
You either began this business in infancy or your card contains a printer's error. Surely your studio was not established in 1846.
No. Yes. Well, not precisely. The public appreciates a business with longevity. I, as it happens, was established on that date in 1846.
I would have thought your clientele would reward a less traditional sensibility. But I'm not in business, am I? Born in a leap year under the sign of Aquarius, were you?
Quite.
I see you are on the national telephone.
This is not an exchange, Mr. Holmes. There is a public instrument in the post office at Marble Arch.
I saw the portrait you did for my friend, Lord Lawton, and his fiancée.
And you were impressed. They are a handsome couple, are they not? Might I do the same for you and your intended?
Not at the moment. Do you use gold chloride to tone your paper?
Never. My printing out paper is unique, sir. The finest Godin gelatin silver. But instead of chloride, I use another salt. I trust you're not going to become a competitor.
Where do you keep duplicate negatives?
I have no storage facilities.
What if Lady Lockridge were to lose or damage hers?
A truly skillful photographer could achieve something with the positive, but that's beside the point. You had other business with me.
Most studios now use the collodion development process, do they not?
They do, and I say let them. I provide choices. My unique collodion technique produces distinctively excellent results which cannot be imitated by any jackass who calls himself a photographer.
Is not all collodion development basically the same? Phenol to reduce, sodium sulfite for control, and the thiosulfate solution to fix.
Excuse my snorting. Your ignorance is common. I won't divulge my methods, but I will say, for example, that cyanide in skilled hands is a better fixative than thiosulfate could ever be. You are here on my sufferance, sir. Keep away from my private studio, or I shall seek an official remedy.
Who is the person depicted in the photograph?
Lieutenant Basingstoke. He recently succumbed to cholera in Suez. Shocking loss for all who knew him. How have you come by it?
By accident. Is it unique?
Hardly. I must have made 10 copies. Extraordinarily sharp image, if I do say. I wonder how it was damaged.
Did Basingstoke reveal why he wanted to be photographed?
No, I never ask. But I suppose the desire to stall the march of time informs all possible reasons. An image is an aid to memory.
But it captures nothing essential. It's less than a fly caught in amber. No vitality or habits of mind are preserved.
I don't believe, sir, that my studio can hold any further interest for you.
I believe I've happened upon a sample of your work, Mr. Hargrove.
You're a collector, then? I'll have to number you among my admirers, Mr. Holmes.
The name is Holmes, Sherlock Holmes.
I've heard that name, I'm sure. What do you have?
You've been playing a very dangerous game, Hargrove, and I intend to put you out. You'll want more privacy, I think. Let's go in back.
You have no special privileges here. Go peddle your ridiculous accusations elsewhere, or I shall call the police.
No, Mr. Hargrove. The tables have turned. I may call them myself. Remark, Watson. Pornography is so predictable.
That is a libelous characterization. I am an artist.
We won't argue the point now. Let's just say you're an idiot. Your distinctive fixing process made you suspect, Hargrove. Your unique printing out paper indicted you.
Others may use the same combinations, not as well, of course.
I believe that under special circumstances, traitors may still be hanged.
We could, perhaps, explore the possibility that I may have been compelled to do something a bit beyond legal, but I'm not a traitor.
Who hired you to copy the formula?
I will not respond while under duress.
You have misread your role, Hargrove. You will dictate no terms. I can make duress a permanent condition of your life. Cooperation may win you consideration. Change your act now, or I will take you down.
Perhaps I've been hasty, Mr. Holmes. But I am terribly frightened. I'm actually a victim in this travesty. Honestly, I didn't wish to do wrong. A lout named Scarrett brought the original document to me and demanded I make a copy.
He's a fat man? Middle-aged? Fair?
No, he's a young blade, dark as an Italian, the eyes of a bipedal predator, and fond of the poppy, I noticed.
You were well paid for your work?
Not a farthing. Money was not offered nor requested. I was forced by other means.
Of all the photographers in London, why were you chosen for this task?
A crisp image of a printed page is not easy. The subject matter added to the difficulty. I have a certain reputation.
Not one you'd like your mother to hear of, I'll wager. You said you were compelled. How? By whom?
These people are savages, Holmes. I can say no more. It was as I'm telling it. Take my word for it.
Not likely. I'm sure you sport the type of vices that make you an easy mark for a blackmailer.
Fine. let's say, some of my more adventurous photographs fell into the wrong hands.
I wonder Scarrett did not request a daguerreotype. He might at least have made a pretense of selling a unique copy.
He rejected my suggestion. Ignorance, I imagine, insisted on the collodion, wanted the negative.
Obviously, but for what purpose? The Prussian would have wanted exclusivity. Perhaps Scarrett intends to sell the formula more than once. Perhaps you kept a copy, thinking you might do some business on your own.
Only the strongest compulsion could make me violate my ethical standards.
Oh, please, your lies are lame, and even your excuses have peg legs. Mr. Hargrove, I'm in a position to do you very little good and a great deal of harm.
Is that intended as a warning?
It is simply a fact. Remember it as we speak.
If you insist, Mr. Holmes, I shall try. It must queue up as one of many urgent claims on my memory.
I wish to see the contents of this cabinet. Will you give me the combination?
I never use it. Really, I can't recall the last time I put anything in there. I forget things, you see. They disappear. In all the excitement, I've forgotten it completely. It may come to me, but I doubt it.
Given his penchant for self-promotion, why is none of his work displayed?
Perhaps it is too artistic for exhibition.
True. Salacious subject matter thrives on reputation, but it requires occasional viewing. Perhaps he keeps his naughty bits secreted away, as young boys hide French postcards. It's likely he has recorded the combination to the safe. If you can suggest where, we might escape another of his lies.
I've no idea. Why do you think he's recorded it?
Because I think he inadvertently told us something true. He said his memory is bad. I suspect it is. He has no reason to lie about it. Have you remarked how the tendrils of this matter creep and entwine around photography?
The formula, Pratt's friend, the engagement portrait, the photos stolen from Lawton's, I know. But making something of it is beyond my powers.
Concentrate, Doctor. My brain is jangling. We are close to untangling this tragic mess.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Whose telephone number have you kept? Is it Scarrett's?
Please, Mr. Holmes, I beg you.
If you expect me to care, you'll have to say more.
I cannot. I will not.
You face ruination and prison, and still you will not help yourself. Who is capable of causing such fear? Not Scarrett, I think. Silence will neither serve nor save you, Hargrove. When I find this fiend, and I will, I'll let it be known that you betrayed him. Has anything escaped me, Watson?
I should think so, Holmes. If Hargrove is a central figure in this debacle, worry the slime. Torture would be too good for him.
Has anything escaped?
I should think so.
Central Exchange? This is the Lord Mayor's office. A document here requires urgent delivery, but I only have the party's telephone number. Can you supply me with the address, please? Holborn 232. That's just beyond the viaduct, is it? Thank you. Mystery importing indeed. Has anything escaped?
I should think so, Holmes.
Has anything
I should think.
No doubt your avocation is more lucrative than conventional portraiture.
My business is hardly your concern.
To your misfortune, Hargrove, you and what you are pleased to call your business have become obsessions. Watson, you might ring Lestrade. Tell him to bring a warrant for this reprobate. We're dealing with a habitual criminal, traitor, pornographer, and who knows what else.
Hold on now, you're not the police. Don't be hasty.
How did you inform Scarrett that the photograph was ready?
He returned at an appointed time.
I think not. He didn't want you to think the work was urgent. No, you telephoned him. That was his idea. He'd want as little exposure as possible. What is his telephone number?
Perhaps I did telephone him, but the number has slipped from my memory. I'm quite remiss in that department.
Has anything escaped me, Watson?
I should think so, Holmes. If Hargrove is a central figure in this debacle, worry the slime.
Please connect me to Holborn 232. I beg your pardon. Wrong number. Someone is there, Watson.
Excellent.
Are you ready to proceed, Doctor? The case increases in interest.
And in danger, I imagine. Should the police be notified?
I'd rather circulation of the stories of the Ministry theft and the extortion involving a royal person be severely restricted.
Perhaps Hargrove should be immobilized. I wouldn't want Major Misteray or Scarrett prepared for our arrival.
No, Hargrove has parted company with the Major. If he follows his form, the Major will demand swift and violent retribution for the betrayal. Lestrade affords him the only protection he can expect this side of heaven. He won't do anything that might alienate the institution that can protect him. Do we understand one another, Hargrove?
Perfectly. I never saw the formula or the royal person. You were never here. Give me the telephone. Perhaps Lestrade could find me a private cell while his office undertakes a lengthy investigation into an accusation of pornography. I'll suggest it.
That wasn't too difficult. Let's not announce our presence.
Should you weary of your work, you might consider a career in unlawful entry. Your expertise exceeds that of a cat burglar.
I believe I hear snoring.
Pipe down, then. Our advantage will be lost.
I heard a distinct clink. We've likely lost the element of surprise. I'm an idiot, Watson.
Nonsense, Holmes. Perhaps it didn't fall far from the door. If he hasn't heard us before now, that noise won't alert him. Gentlemen, I was resting my eyes. I didn't...
Stay where you are, Misteray. Speak when spoken to and keep your hands in view. Major Misteray, I am Sherlock Holmes.
Were he here, I'm sure Misteray, that's Misteray, would excuse your common mispronunciation of his name. I am Jeremiah M. Story, an acquaintance.
If you like, why not Jose Ray Martin? Never mind. Offal by any other name smells the same.
Your speech, Mr. Holmes, is as offensive as your presence is unwanted. To what do I owe this unorthodox intrusion?
To crime, you scoundrel. Your crimes and those of your despicable surrogates have brought me here. Your insidious scheme has unraveled completely, Mr. A. Will you confess your part in it?
I would deem your declaration to be less than worthless if I knew what you were talking about.
Your plan to sell Professor Dewar's formula to von Bismarck is ruined. Your client has killed himself, and his copy of the formula is seized. The crimes committed to support your plan have failed. I'm about to tie an adamantine knot around a large and cruel conspiracy, and you are the rope. Plain enough?
Talk is cheaper and your time less valuable than I had imagined. Are you trying to cause a hernia? Bad luck. I'll have to retrieve that later.
Where is the key for this drawer?
I have no idea. I don't believe Misteray keeps anything in there.
A locked drawer with nothing in it? I don't think so. Empty your pockets. What are these fish?
Aurora and Borealis, fascinating creatures. They're Amazonian piranhas, the world's most predacious and voracious characines.
Suitable companions for you, I'm sure. You are many things, Mr. A, but not slovenly, I think.
My name is Story. Why do you address me incorrectly?
What can your name matter? However you call yourself, you are certainly a villain. How long has the aquarium been here?
I have no idea. It's not mine, as I've said. You are not quite as bright as I've been led to believe, Mr. Holmes.
I won't be distracted by puerile insults.
I merely state an opinion. Such chicanery is beneath me.
Nothing is beneath you. You are the sort of contemptible outlaw who coerces others to do his bidding, a completely amoral puppet master. And I will stop at nothing to destroy you and your agents.
I have nothing more to say to you, Holmes. Call in the hobnailed boots if you wish. My solicitor will deal with them. A photograph of incomprehensible chemical notations. Fascinating to someone, I am sure, but not to me.
You recognize Colonel Merlendorf? Yes, I can see you do.
A fop with a beard. Never laid eyes on him.
Were your dealings with the Prussians simply a matter of money?
Matters of money are rarely simple, but I am unacquainted with any Prussians.
I believe this room will prove you a liar. Did I mention that Merlendorf died in his army uniform? The Lord Chief Justice takes a dim view of treason.
The Prussian can hardly corroborate your wild charges.
The game is up, Misteray. Give me the man called Skerritt, and you might save yourself from his fate, which is certain execution.
You are not the police, and even if you were, you've nothing that will stick to the Major. Twist and turn as you will, you have no proof of anything. Give it to the coppers, see what they say.
I can see you don't fear the police, but I won't confine my report to them. I am not without contacts in the underworld. I'll circulate the story that you betrayed the Prussian for profit. I'll make you an international renegade and a pariah among your own kind.
Were I the person you seek, you might double-cross me anyway.
You'll have to trust me, won't you? How do you find the mastermind of this criminal enterprise?
Appearances must be deceiving, Holmes. He looks like my estate agent.
Do not underestimate him, Watson. The range of this conspiracy is decisive proof that behind the tranquil facade lives a malignant brain. He commands a network of thugs and vulnerable dupes. No crime is too great for their collective contemplation and execution. In every man's misfortune, he sees an opportunity to do harm. Shoot him if he tries to leave, Watson.
That's hardly likely, is it, Holmes?
Incarceration may seem to him the proverbial fate worse than death. Prison would curtail his activity, and the authorities could not provide the protection to which a man with enemies is accustomed. Remember, however he seems, he is a desperate adventurer, a cynical, unprincipled fiend.
Not an attractive specimen, then.
Hold him in contempt, Watson, but do not depreciate his capacity for evil or for harm. Old Neptune's badge would make a practical souvenir, Watson.
I wouldn't risk my fingers, Holmes.
No, I value my digits. Major Misteray is going to be unable to give these creatures the care they require. He'll be occupied at Dartmoor. The cat might be grateful for some work. You share artistic tastes with the depraved photographer Hargrove.
Whoever that is, presumably it is not a crime to appreciate great art.
No, but it is the other side of lawful to possess it without the benefit of a bill of sale.
I'll tell Misteray you were concerned.
For one who claims no knowledge of scientific notation, you seem well up on your maths.
The books are Misteray's. He is not without certain mathematical interests.
A man of many talents is Major Misteray. I believe we've only scratched this miscreant's surface, Watson. Mycroft might be interested in this, or perhaps Scotland Yard.
I'm sure we need none of that at 221B.
It may be evidence.
Of what? Those who live in glass houses.
I take your point, Watson.
Will you waste time at this critical juncture?
The line is active. I don't think anyone else should use it. Like an East End doss house, this entire affair reeks of drugs.
Tilt on, Mr. Holmes. That's not illegal. In any case, I'm just a visitor here.
Perhaps I can make you sorry that you've extended your stay.
You've already accomplished that modest goal.
Are you trying to cause a... Have you lost your mind, Holmes? Control your temper. You'll only mutilate your hand. That glass is specially hardened. Couldn't break it with a hammer.
I will have that trident, Watson.
You are cruel, Mr. Holmes. Poor, defenseless creatures.
It is typically repulsive and perverted that you reserve your sympathy for things vicious by nature, rather than inclination. Look here, Watson. Evidence, so dear to the heart of Scotland Yard. Are you still smug, Misteray?
I think so little of your acumen, let alone your evidence. Silence will serve me best. None of those things can be tied to me.
I don't wonder you've lost your voice. All your plans have now gone south. Your attempt to compromise British security has failed utterly.
What have you found, Holmes?
Enough to cook a very tough goose. German currency, a wad of fibers, and the photographic negative of Dewar's formula. This string is played out, Misteray. Where is the scurrilous composite of Lord Lawton and Princess Alexandra? Does Vincent Scarrett have it?
You continue to allude to matters about which I have no knowledge.
My eye, I'm sure you've insulated yourself from direct involvement in these several crimes. As you won't give up, Scarrett, we'll let Scotland Yard and your underworld colleagues sort it out. I'll parcel out the details in my own manner. The report will not show you in good light.
Vincent is like a son to me, Mr. Holmes, but I'm truly mortified by these vile allegations. If he has wandered beyond the bounds of good judgment, and it appears from what I've seen and heard that he might have done, I could hazard a guess about where he might be found, providing Lestrade and the others you mentioned may be kept out of this.
I'm listening, Misteray. Naturally, I will have to test your veracity.
A nasty den on the river is his favourite haunt. Place has a nautical name. Vincent's a bit rough on the margins, with a few unfortunate habits.
Your appraisal is too modest. He is in fact a brutal killer, a cruel extortionist, and an unredeemable villain.
That as may be. But you'll discover he's as docile as a house cat. I warn you, any calumny against me will fall on deaf ears. He may turn mute.
I will find his tongue. The connection between Skerritt and Pratt is finally clear, Watson. They were opium eaters.
Indeed? I didn't see it. I don't see it still.
Hargrove saw it, and Lloyd Jones smelled it. The two met, smoked, and shared secrets common to their addiction. Unbeknownst to Pratt, Skerritt was trolling for information, and he hooked it.
You mean he learned that Pratt was a ministry clerk with access to sensitive documents?
Yes, he learned all about Mycroft's ministry committee. The foibles and frailties of the members would be well known to Pratt, especially Lawton. They would be fine topics for conversation.
So Skerritt coerced him to steal the formula with something he learned during their sessions. What might they have had on him?
Debts? Evidence of unethical or immoral behavior? Perhaps they threatened him with death or mutilation. I've been gathering wool, Watson. I had this information and didn't put it together. You stay here. I will see Skerritt in his den, or know the reason why.
Will you go alone?
Hold on. I thought our business was completed. I've given you Vincent.
You were mistaken. Skerritt is a servant, and you are his master. He can do everything for you except serve your jail sentence.
Easy, Holmes. Haste makes waste, or whatever cliché might bring you to your senses. Let's bring Lestrade into this now.
Do you think Skerritt will simply slink away as the net closes around him? The man is capable of anything, and he tried to kill my brother.
Your zeal has overcome your judgment. Don't be rash in your rush for revenge. If you go to that den as you are, you'll come to harm.
Don't fear. I will travel incognito, but I must take my chances alone. He must not get wind of all that has happened. Guard Misteray, Watson. Farewell. We shall meet again. I need to enter an establishment unrecognized. A different set of clothes will do it.
I'm fast, Mr. Holmes, but it would take at least 2 days for me to make a proper suit or overcoat.
I need a nautical ensemble, Stitch. Can you help?
A late invitation to a dress ball, Mr. Holmes. Never go wrong as Lord Nelson.
Admiral of the Fleet is too patrician. Something much further down the ranks would serve me better.
But there's plenty of seaman's gear in the back. A patch and spike will sell the look. Just return 'em as you found 'em.
A critique would be welcome, Stitch.
You look the part, Mr. Holmes. Right posture, hard face. I'd never know you. You're an accomplished actor, I suspect. Merde! You remember this from the matchbox. It pays to advertise. You're moving in the right direction.
Give me a place in the back, mate.
That's not how it's done, old salt. Been here before, have you?
Seen your mug half a dozen times, you Tasmanian devil.
There's something familiar about you. You know my rules, then?
They just slipped out of mind.
No strangers, no credit, no noise, no exceptions.
Take a hike. Nailed.
They'll buy you cream tea at Lyons or something stronger in the back. You part ways to Nirvana.
You've got your Luca. The matches is my bona fides, all right?
Fine as far as it goes, mate, but you still owe me something.
I'm trying to lose my troubles and you put more in my way.
Just protecting my business. I got a reputation. Can't let just anybody back there. Now tell me what I want to hear or take a hike.
Shovel.
I think I remember the word you're looking for.
I'm all ears.
Take a hike.
All right then, go on through. Pipes are on the left. Remember now, no trouble, no noise.
Deranged as you are, Skerritt, I'm not surprised you seek consolation in this den of iniquity.
Interfere with me at your peril, sailor. You don't know what you're dealing with.
False. You're a vicious criminal. Fortunately for the rest of us, your competence is not equal to your intent. My brother survived the outrage at the Diogenes. Young Silverbridge is safely rescued, and the Ministry formula never left the country. Even in your brutal and senseless murder of the hapless Pratt, you lost your gun. Not a good innings for you. Consider yourself detained. You'll be hanged at Crown expense.
It's the great Holmes, is it, in that sailor gear? Go peddle your papers. The police have no proof I've committed a crime.
Not yet, but I have a witness who saw you execute Pratt. Your defeat is total. Your paramour is dead, likewise your Prussian client. The ill-gotten money has been seized along with your patron. Incidentally, contrary to popular opinion, there is no honour among thieves. Misteray betrayed you in an instant.
Did you think you would talk me into submission? I should have done you on the Cambridge train. I didn't see the reason then, but it's clear I might have saved myself some trouble. So to all vermin.
Drop it, Skerritt. Your real trouble is about to begin.
fine disguise, Holmes. Your mother wouldn't know you. But what's happened here? I heard shots.
Scarrett gave me no selection, Watson. He is dead by a bullet from his own gun, and disposed of. Perhaps Needham will make a half-crown from his body. What was I playing at? I should have known he would have had another weapon. Where is Misteray, by the way?
I handed him over to the inspectors you sent. They slipped the derbies on him and let him off.
The diabolical sod is clever, Watson. He deceived you. I sent no one. Pride goes before the fall, they say. We'll get another chance at him.
I'm feeling a bit unsteady, Holmes. Might we leave?
Of course, Doctor. A wash and a stiff scotch will set us to rights. The man who tried to kill Mycroft is dead. I rather wish I didn't feel so good about it. It will pass. Mycroft must be informed. I don't relish the prospect of seeing Matron again.
Perhaps she's warmed to you.
No more than a lap rug might warm the polar cap. I'll write to him first. We'll look in on Mycroft when he returns to the arms.
Yes, so your message said. Wonderfully detailed, by the way. The minister was most impressed. Your discretion was widely appreciated. The death of this Scarrett fellow was unavoidable. You had no choice.
I didn't think your health enough improved to attend my funeral.
Most thoughtful. Any news of his ludicrously named employer?
Major Misteray is at large.
Well, you tied up the other bits very nicely. Carter is pleased. I've heard from Silverbridge. Even Lawton is chastened. You have just cause for celebration.
Mr. Holmes, you're not resting. Matron specifically warned me that your brother would overstay his allotted time. He has interfered with your feeding.
Very well, sister. He and Dr. Watson are just leaving. You may bring in that gruel masquerading as food. We only have a moment, Sherlock. I don't wish Matron to receive a bad report. My minister informs me that a certain gracious lady has requested your attendance at Kensington. Please wear a clean cravat. My thanks for all you've done.
Best not keep her waiting. Be well, brother. Watson?
My appreciation, Mr. Holmes. I don't mind saying that your account was more enlightening than the PM's. You're certain my grandson was not implicated in the travesty?
Absolutely, ma'am. The Kaiser was truly outraged by the theft. His assistance in apprehending the malefactors was invaluable.
Your sovereign and your nation are grateful for your discreet and expeditious handling of this delicate matter, Mr. Holmes. And if you will pardon the language, this Misteray seems the scum of the earth.
Your language is always appropriate, ma'am.
I'm ashamed of my part in this, ma'am. I trust there is no reason for the Prince of Wales to learn of it. I should think not. I regret that Bertie is far from a model of discretion in these matters. And you are not culpable, Alexandra. It was that Lawton fellow. Lawton behaved a perfect fool, your Majesty. But I was not blameless. I was so grateful when he cleaned up the awful mess Prince Eddie made. I don't believe I could have denied Lawton anything he asked. Perhaps I was flirting a little. Still, it was most unwise to have sent such a photograph. I apologize, ma'am. Ancient history, my dear. Think no more of it. This story need not leave this room at any time soon, Mr. Holmes.
Indeed not, your Majesty. The public, the police, and most of the government shall remain ignorant of the entire matter. The formula is secure. The composite has been recovered. Most of the villains have paid the ultimate penalty for their crimes. I'm sure one of the late Prince's charities can find a use for the Prussians' money.
Thank you. Now, indulge me for a moment more. Brown, if you will. Please assume the customary position. For services to country and crown, I dub thee Knight of the Distinguished Service Order. Arise. This honour, like the rest of this wretched matter, must remain a secret. I'm sorry.
If I have rendered service to my brother, to my country, and to you, ma'am, I am justly and handsomely rewarded.
Nicely said, Sir Sherlock. Doctor, Brown will show you out.
A grateful and generous sovereign is a fine thing, Holmes.
Indeed, but no better than a true friend. My thanks for all you did, Watson. The case has concluded, Watson. Are you near finishing your account?
I've recorded most of its events, those I witnessed and those you told me about, but the historical record demands a summary. Some issues are not entirely clear.
I am not surprised. This was a most peculiar and troubling matter.
I admired your reasoning early on that the three investigations were linked. The suppression of the inquiry and the attempt on Mycroft were in support of the theft. Nevertheless, I lost my way through the investigation a number of times.
You were not alone. I call to your attention the complexity of the conspiracy, its political, diplomatic, and military implications, the dazzling audacity of the villains, the calculated cruelty in support of treason. Is it any wonder we made a false start or two?
I must say that it did not help that you were enraged by the attempt on Mycroft's life.
I accept that criticism. My anger may have been as much of a debility as it was an inspiration. But I was not prepared for any solution to the matter which did not include the apprehension of his would-be assassin.
Fortunately, he turned out to be a person we wanted for other reasons. Are you satisfied with the disposition of the committee members?
They will answer to Mycroft. Everybody in this case but he was self-interested. To varying degrees, they were petty, mean, foolish, greedy, ambitious, vicious, or just plain stupid. Some had better reasons than others. Those will serve as mitigation.
Why did you let Lawton off so easily? The man is a self-righteous idiot who has gambled his way into debt and must make an unpleasant marriage to get out of it.
My anger is spent, Watson. Should more lives be ruined by this wretched business? I could produce the chain of evidence that would cook his goose, but royal involvement made it very fragile. He will suffer for his deeds, I guarantee it.
I suspect that you knew the composite was the crux of the case much earlier than you revealed to me.
That is a just and succinct summation, Watson. We should let it rest there.
Amazing, Holmes. Should I live 100 years, I'm sure I shall never meet your equal.
My thanks, Watson. Major Misteray, I think, would warmly disagree with your generous praise. No doubt we shall have to deal with him in time. There was no real acquiescence in the man. He will find another cat's paw to do his bidding. I believe I could sacrifice my life gladly if such a man could be eliminated. The Bosworth emeralds have gone missing. Disappeared into thin air, apparently. Police are mystified. That's hardly newsworthy. It's their natural state.
You'll be asked to put your head to that puzzlement before too long, or I'm no judge of the skills of Scotland Yard. Speaking of which, how was your interview with Lestrade?
He's not happy. But what can he do? His corpses are identified, the crimes which caused them are solved. He's ignorant of the political implications, of course. Speaking of which, I suppose Bismarck's future is not very bright. I shouldn't be surprised to see him dismissed ignominiously in the near future. I don't know if that will be a good or bad thing for the Kaiser. Or for England.
All of Europe is tending toward a tizzy, Holmes. When the old Queen dies, there will be war, I'll wager.
I'm afraid you may be right. Fights among families are often the most bitter. Still, she's good for some years, I imagine. We will keep her confidence, won't we, Doctor?
I've taken measures, Holmes. The privacy of the royal family will be protected. For a century, anyhow. Play that phrase again, will you?